Okay, so we're going to be going live here, and just want to say thanks again for coming on and doing this interview. We are Friends of the Gods, a Hand of the Gods podcast focusing on tournaments, community, and strategy. The other thing we're going to do, I actually don't have an active arena, so I think it's time to start playing some ranked. You can't stay number one forever for this tournament, so let's do some ranked today. To start off the interview, I just wanted to ask, how did you get your gaming dad moniker? Like, when did you take on that name, and how did it come about?
Basically, I
take on that name, and how did it come?
I was sitting there thinking about a name for PlayStation, and it just come up Gaming Dad, because I'm a gaming and I am dad, so that's just something I came up with.
You or he need to mute their
Cool, man. And we had talked a little bit before the stream started. Mentioned I'm located in California, and you had mentioned where you're from. You want to talk about where you're from and maybe how it was like growing up as a gamer living in that area?
Well, basically, I'm from Mississippi, so as far as where I live mainly in the country. So when we started gaming and stuff, there wasn't any internet gaming back then. It was just mainly Nintendo and stuff like that. So when the internet did come about, it was mainly dial-up. So we was basically playing like games like Everquest on dial-up. And I don't know if kids out there today know what Everquest is when it was back then or not, but trying to play it on dial-up, you would be sitting in a loading screen for at least 30 minutes sometimes. So you did what you had to do if you wanted to play online games back then. But it's a lot easier nowadays.
Totally. Did you play any other games other than EverQuest? Like, were you into maybe Ultima Online or something like that?
I tried Ultima to begin with, but I didn't like it too much because because of the graphics. That's why I went to EverQuest. Then from EverQuest, we moved on to like games like Warcraft and EverQuest 2.
No, that's World of Warcraft definitely took me away from the game I was playing at the time, which was Dark Age of Camelot, and just how beautiful it looked. I think anyone that liked Blizzard games could appreciate being in a world that's just being surrounded by Blizzard art is hard to turn away from.
Dark Ages of Camelot was a good game too. I played it also.
Oh, really? What server were you on?
Don't ask me that. I don't remember it. It's been so long ago. It's been so long ago since I don't even remember what server I played on.
Oh, no problem. So, did you play any tabletop games like Magic or D&D or anything like that?
No, I did play D&D, but that was like my cousin. That lived on the coast was real big into D&D, and we used to play together. Every time I'd go see him, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Back when it first came out, as a card game and everything.
Yeah, so would you say Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the biggest card game you really got into?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was. I would say so. Besides games like, which has nothing to do with these games, but I used to like to play online poker a lot.
Did you do that casually or professionally?
Just casually. Back when they allowed gambling, you could do online gambling here in Mississippi. Now they changed the law where you can't. You used to play on like Absolute Poker, Poker Stars, and stuff like that, just for a little cash every now and then. Not really professionally or anything.
Oh, cool, man. So, what got you into Hand of the Gods?
Hand of the Gods, well, I used to play a game called Hearthstone, and I had a friend of mine show me this game. I just started playing it. It kind of reminded me of Hearthstone in a way, and there used to be a game called Might and Magic on the computer, I think it was. It's kind of similar to that where you move your people across the screen and attack each other. So it's like a combination of the two.
Yeah, actually, I played, it was called Duel of Champions, correct?
Could be. I know it was like an old computer game. And you would just like explore the lands, and when you got to a fighting scene, you'd have to move your minions across the screen to fight them, just like it is on here.
Oh, you're talking about the old style Might and Magic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good game. So, what is your favorite Pantheon within Hand of the Gods, and why is it your favorite?
My favorite Pantheon would be the Chinese deck, I would have to say, or the Roman deck. Either one of those. I don't really have a favorite out of those because both of those do work pretty good. But I do see everybody playing, like when you play the arena, it seems like everybody plays the Roman deck.
I think that Roman is definitely the strongest right now. Especially in Arena, they have cards that just have ridiculous stats with good abilities attached to it. Where it seems like the other Pantheons, they might have one or the other on a character.
Well, they do got the Roman deck that does have a card that will tick you off if you're not ready for it.
Discordia, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
Oh, as long as it's in my hand, I don't feel too bad.
That's usually how it is. Well, obviously, the feel-wise, a lot of people have different experiences with being on the receiving end or dealing end of it, but do you feel that the card in general is healthy for the environment of the game?
I guess it would depend on the player, really, because a lot of people are going to say, oh, that card's overpowered, but you have to time that card just right to be able to play it, because if you got good cards in your hand, you most likely are not going to use that card just to swap out to get their cards. The only way you're really going to use that card is if you're like, that's your last card and they still got a bunch of cards in their hand. So it's all about timing. You might have that card in your hand and not even use it because you don't want to risk, losing some of the cards that you have in your hand. So it's not, to me, it's not overpowered because you have to, time it just right to be able to use it.
Do you have any favorite card of the things that came out in the latest patch?
I would say that would probably be one of them right there.
I agree too. It's, as I say, it's broken, but I think it's a fun mechanic. It just needs to be either like jacked up in price or basically the only real response the opponent has is really like playing out all their cards. And because she's at 4 costs, you don't ever have the opportunity to really do that. So if she had a much higher cost, we might be seeing something a little different here. So
I'm trying to think of any other Pantheon cards that came out besides her that was really worth anything.
I think Mana Burst was pretty good.
I haven't had a chance to really use that card yet. That's the one with the remaining damage you can, the remaining mana of your opponent you can use against them for damage.
Correct, yeah.
What do you think about the new Egyptian card that came out?
The Celestial Armor?
No, that God card. The one that returns all the cards every turn from Afterlife to...
Oh, so technically it's not a new card because it came out last patch, but because we're on PS4, he'd been banned because he just broke the game. I really like that card though. I found a lot of strategy with him in using the 1 cost card that lets you draw lets you draw an afterlife card, and if you're able to pick up a Sylvanas after it, you're going to be tearing things up. Like, it's incredibly powerful. Let's see here. Got a pretty decent hand. A lot to do. I think I'm going to go for the Power Delve because I can possibly get an Isis off of it. Did not get the Isis, but I will get some help in terms of... Oh my god, I just got the Discordia. Alright, so would you like to talk about what your favorite Pantheon is and your favorite card within the Chinese Pantheon is and why that is?
Let me see, my favorite card would be... I think it's everybody's favorite card.
And what's that?
See, was it Yang Wu? Is that how you say his name?
Guan Yu, yeah. He is... he's very powerful. Yeah, he definitely is part of the reason why the Chinese Pantheon sings right now, I'd say. He gets a lot of use out of... just all those spells, honestly. Alright, here... What about your favorite neutral card?
As long as you try to build your deck around him, because, like, as long as you got some cards to play as soon as you put it out there with him, as soon as you put it out there, they're going to try to silence him or something.
Oh, totally. He, whenever you play him out, your opponent should probably have something ready to deal with him before they even start. But that's why you want to play him onto a board where you're able to kill a bunch of his stuff first. Like, you don't just play him as a threat. You play him as a response, I'd say. What about your favorite neutral card?
Let me think. Hold on, just a second. Let me look here. The one that I normally have in a deck all the time. Maybe I would say Blade Master. Just because of his charge. Either him or the Fire Giant, because as much damage that he's capable of putting out.
Fire Giant is really good.
Yeah, that's what, 9 damage, as long as you can get the Fire Giant to damage something too.
Totally.
Normally, if you can get all of them to work, it's 9 damage, and that's a pretty strong card right there.
And
I don't really like that newer card they got out, where you don't have no control over them and anything like that. Because a lot of times, as soon as you put them out there, they're going to try to get rid of them. The only reason I like that card is because they use so much resources trying to get rid of them.
I got you. You had mentioned you also are a big fan of the Roman Pantheon. What are your favorite cards out of that? Gaming Dev?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was looking. Favorite card. I like Venus, because of her movement damage every time they move and stuff. But as long as you can keep her out there without her getting silenced, she's a pretty powerful card.
I agree. I wouldn't say she's as important as Guan Yu is to Chinese, but she's probably my favorite card in the game right now. Oh, look at that. I actually went up in rank. So, Are you happy with the patch, even if Discordia is a little broken? I mean, for me, it's good because they fixed so many of the bugged cards. It felt like we got a double patch in one. So I'm still pretty happy as is.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with the patch. My main thing that I, above anything else of being happy with the patch was the fact that they fixed it to where it wasn't getting stuck all the time. And it made it, for a while there, you couldn't play anything almost because you always got stuck, and that was very frustrating if you try to play Arena or anything like that. They could have probably left the cards out and just fixed their bug there, and I'd been happy, regardless.
No, totally.
Then you had Spartan. He was sitting there popping off stuff after you even if after you had silenced him and stuff. So I'm glad they fixed that bug.
Yeah, that in combination with oh god, was the Pillar of Creations were unsilenceable. That put Hindu like off the charts to me. You couldn't stop it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, how would you rank the Pantheons in terms of like power for like constructed?
I would have to put Bologna up there at number one. I mean, I would say is the strongest one out there right now. As far as all of her spells she has for removal, then she's got Discordia too. So, I mean, it's hard. That's the only person, if I'm in an arena and I don't have her, or if I do have her, I'm kind of weary who I'm going up against, if they know how to play her or not.
I agree. I think Bologna is definitely the best, bar none. Arena and in constructed.
You could sit there, you could have board control, and all of a sudden she just throws that, what's the name of that card down? Like a bludgeon, throws a bludgeon down, or throws a dishonorable down, and you're no longer got board control.
Yeah, it's completely true. And part of the reason for that is because, unfortunately, the dishonorable card is common and bludgeon is rare. So what ends up happening is you just get stacked arena decks because of the rarity disparity between Bologna and other factions or Pantheon's power levels.
Now there is a card in her deck, was it Tendency? I think it's called Tendency. Am I right there? The one that gives you 1/1 for the movement.
Oh, Tenacity, yeah.
Yeah, Tenacity, I'm sorry. But yeah, Tenacity. If you combine that with, I've seen somebody combine that with the, find this guy. The guy that is immune to spells. If you combine that with him, it's pretty, unless you can get rid of him like fairly quickly, he can become a beast to deal with.
Oh, the Imperial Guard?
Let me see, not Imperial Guard. Guy's name. Van something like that. Van
Oh, yeah. The guy who's immune to spells.
Yeah, he's immune to spells. I've seen somebody throw that card on him and just beat me with that card alone because you can't silence him or anything.
And is he using the hero power to kind of dance the character around the field too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
But it's a good combo to use if you can use it. I've seen somebody who like their deck was just built on that one move. Just waiting until they was able to get that card out there so they could throw that spell on them.
Well, have you had any experience with doing the Nike Greek deck? It's just all about buffs. and because Nike is spell immune, you basically double her damage once or twice with the, I forgot the name of the buff. No, not Champion's Bluff. That's the other one. But it's 3 mana and it doubles a target's attack, but it has to be their base attack. So she has a pretty big 6 base. You put the 1 cost thing that makes your guy immune to damage, and guaranteeing they'll be around for next turn. So her alone is swinging for 24 damage, where unless they have a silence to get rid of that card, there's going to be no response.
No, I haven't seen that yet. What card is that? Oh yeah, Nike. I see her now. Yeah, yeah, and I have seen something like that done to her before, because she's immune to spells too.
Exactly. Let's see. I think we're gonna go for
the one that I seen. You know, he kept buffing her up and buffing her up. You know, would buff her up, and then he actually threw down one of the ones that doubled her health.
Yep.
Yeah, he threw down the double the health on her, and then he just kept buffing her up and buffing her up, so it made her impossible to kill.
Completely. Yeah, that's a really interesting deck that I haven't seen very prominent at all, either in ranked or in tournaments, but I think the cards are there to make a very strong deck with that strategy, and it might be just like one card off from really making it a very strong synergy.
And then you got the other card that can give her protect too, also. So
I was wondering, we talked a little bit, and you're saying that you don't really do a lot of arena that much. I was gonna say, do you have any arena? Do you have enough favor to run an arena?
Oh yeah, I got enough favor.
So after we finish up the interview, I'll hop onto your stream. I'll stay in chat, and why don't I guide you through drafting an arena deck?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool, man. So I just have a couple more questions here, and it's mostly, I just wanted to ask, you got a insanely huge level in this game, probably the highest that I've seen, and I had to wonder, how high have you made it in the ranked? What's the highest rank you've achieved?
Well, as far as rank, I got up to rank 6. That's as high as I got, was rank 6. And then I lost some of my rank because of the bug that was going on at the time. And so I just stopped playing rank for a while and haven't played in a while. Right now I'm at rank 7 because I got knocked back down to rank 7.
Oh, totally. And what other games do you play other than Hand of the Gods? Be it card games or non-card games?
Well, before I came to Hand of the Gods, I was playing Neverwinter. Playing it a lot. I like fantasy type games, Neverwinter and Diablo, games like that. World of Warcraft.
Did you give Elder Scrolls a try?
Yeah, I played it a little bit. I played it some. I like it, but I just don't like the view of it. I know you can change the view, but it seems like the game was built to be, first person view.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty fun. My son was playing it the other day. He really likes that game.
Well, that's great. So, do you have a favorite game mode here, or do you really just play because you enjoy playing the game? I know you said Gauntlet kind of interests you.
I like playing Arena. Not that I'm not that great at it, but I do like playing Arena. Mainly what I do most of the days, whenever I get on, I try to get my quest knocked out. Try to keep as much favor as I can so I can play the arena. this game, it's so easy to play. I also like walking on, I walk on my treadmill, and I got it in my game room also, so I can walk on the treadmill and play this game at the same time. So
that's a really good idea, and something I should try to incorporate. I lose my the beer gut I've got building up from playing this game so much.
get your exercise in and game at the same time. So.
Totally. So after I wrap up this gauntlet game, why don't you get your arena stuff set up? Make sure that your audio settings are set to share party, and I will hop on your stream and guide you through drafting a single arena deck. Hopefully you can get Odin or Bologna, because those are the ones I can usually get a 12 win with, but there's some other factions that I've got them with as well. And I appreciate you coming on, man. It was really cool.
All right, appreciate you for having me on.